Hey guys, it's me, Julian Greystoke. Today I am wearing my Serenity shirt, because it's awesome. Today I am doing a different kind of video that I might be doing more of if they seem popular, and that is sharing life experiences that I have had, specifically, especially for writers who might be wanting to write a character with similar life experiences. Today we are going to talk about my homeschooled experience, because I was homeschooled all through my education, basically. If you're not a writer and you're watching this just because you're curious about what it's like to be homeschooled, welcome, you are welcome as well. I was homeschooled all through my education. I never went to public school. So if you're writing a character who is going from being homeschooled to being a public schooled, I can't really help you too much with that experience. One of the biggest things that immediately pops into my head and it probably popped into your head, even though you maybe didn't mean it, and it is something that you can definitely have your character going through, is whenever you tell people that you were homeschooled, they immediately ask, how were you socialized? Just because I did not go to school every day does not mean that I didn't have friends or outside experiences. My mother made sure that we got to do pretty much anything we expressed an interest in. I was interested, for example, in live theater. And so when I was 13, I joined a theater group called Rebel Alliance Theater and really never looked back. I made a lot of great friends there and had a lot of awesome experiences, but we were also in 4-H and we spent a lot of time doing things related to that, so we got plenty of socialization without needing to go to public school. That is something definitely that your character can probably deal with if you are writing a homeschooled character, because there is this odd pervasive notion that if you are homeschooled, you have absolutely no social life, no way to make friends, and no interests. Okay, now that I got that off of my chest, let's talk a little bit about what day-to-day life was like as a homeschooler, at least in my particular experience. Please remember that every homeschooler's experience is a little bit different, and some of them are very different. Our homeschooling was a little bit more free-form, what some people today might be calling unschooling, in the way that it functioned. Some people are a lot more rigid and have a lot more strict timelines that they use and a lot more strict curriculums that they use than we did. So while I grew up with textbooks, of course, my mother didn't stick to a strict curriculum, but she picked and chose what she liked from various different places. There are catalogs and such where you can order school books. There was also a very free-form aspect to being homeschooled, and I'm sure a lot of homeschoolers will nod along when I say this. Basically, as a child, if myself or my siblings ever expressed an interest in something, could be anything, it was turned into a learning experience. Interested in art? Let's go to an art museum. Interested in the ecosystem of a pond? Guess we're going to visit a pond. Being homeschooled allowed me also to go at my own speed. I have a form of dyslexia, which I always forget the name of, which is not for letters and words, but for numbers and math. And because of this, I had a hugely difficult time with math. Still not very good at math, but at least I don't have to try and do algebra anymore. Anyway, being homeschooled really allowed me to go slow where I needed to and allowed me to go on ahead where I needed to. Of course, as a result, the second most common confusing question for us as homeschoolers is, what grade are you in? I was not in a set specific grade. I might be several grades higher in one subject than I was in another subject. And don't worry, it all evened out in the end. Another thing that happened with being homeschooled, at least for our family, was that we were kind of always in school. We didn't take the summer off. That might seem like a real pain in the ass, but when you're used to doing schoolwork every day, it's pretty easy to just keep doing it during the summer. It also allowed my family to have days where maybe if something big was going on, that we could not do schoolwork that day because we would make up for it over the fact that we did school all year long. My high school experience was a little bit different because by the time I got to high school, I had decided that I wanted a real high school diploma, something I could hold in my hand. So we went through a correspondence school because I'm really old and there weren't that many internet schools back then, and also we lived in the country and our internet is actual shit. It still is. Because of this, I did have to go into a slightly more rigid form of schooling where we did the sort of classic dance of read the chapters, learn the thing, do the test, mail out the test, get your grades back. Nowadays, most people who do that would probably go through some sort of online course, so if you are writing a character that is in a completely contemporary story, they'd probably be doing most of it online now. Another question that I get a lot is, are you happy you were homeschooled? Would you rather have gone to public school? The answer is pretty simple. No, I fucking would not rather have gone to public school. I had a lot of friends who were in public school, and it seemed like a pretty miserable place to me, especially during high school. Some people might also ask me why I was homeschooled, and I don't have a really clear answer. I'm sure I've asked my mother why she decided to homeschool us, but I don't really remember what she said. I'm sure a lot of it was the usual things. She didn't like the way that public schools were going, which I don't either. We're not going to talk about here, but I'm sure she also realized that being able to learn at our own speed would be a really helpful thing for us. Some parents do homeschool because they are feeling more protective of their children, especially if the child has been going to public school and is being, say, horribly bullied. And so the parent will take them out and homeschool them so they don't have to experience that anymore. And there are a huge gamut of reasons why people homeschool their children. So if you are going to write a homeschooled character and you want to go into that, I definitely recommend that you do a lot of research on why people homeschool their kids. Don't just make assumptions about it. Being an introvert and having anxiety runs in my family. It is super genetic and we are all introverts. You'd have to look really hard to find an extroverted person, like anywhere in my family tree. Like my grandfather was, but that's pretty much it. I think being homeschooled also allowed me to be a better teacher of others. Because I was the eldest, the next children that came along, I had a hand in helping them learn as well. And so I think it really helped me become better at teaching others. And finally, I think something that being homeschooled really allowed me to do was be a big old dreamer. Being homeschooled, I had a lot of support from the adults in my life because they were my family, like my mother and grandfather, who were some of my biggest supporters. If you're out there watching this right now and you don't have that support system and you need somebody to tell you that you could and should follow your dream, feel free to talk to me either in the doobly-doo or you can even message me on Facebook. I am here to encourage you. So there you go, that is my video about my homeschooled experience. I hope that it was helpful and edifying to anyone out there who made it all the way through this video. If you're writing a homeschooled character and you want some more specific details, feel free to comment below or message me. I post new videos here Mondays and Fridays, and all of the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo. And I will see you all again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!